She did a couple of tickets. They actually gave out tickets this last week.
Well, they don't give them out. They earn them.
Well, yeah. Usually it's just a warning. Just go bye-bye. Somebody did. There's two that I heard. I was like, wow. Usually they let you go. Okay, almost there. Very. 10 o'clock, thank you. We're here for the BOCC meeting. Would you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? Fake turn. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with justice for all. Welcome. And the agenda approval.
Commissioners, I have no change to the agenda as presented.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
First and second. Call for the vote.
Commissioner Trimble,
Yes.
Commissioner Waddell,
Yes.
Chairman Spillier,
Yes.
motion passes.
Consent agenda.
Commissioners, on today's consent agenda, I have a sick leave donation for Joshua Knight, sick donation for Kim Trujillo, and I have a sick donation for Debbie Bernal.
Make a motion to accept the consent agenda.
Second.
First and second. Any other discussion? Call for the vote.
Commissioner Waddell,
Yes.
Commissioner Trimble,
Yes.
Chairman Spillier,
Yes.
motion passes.
And public comment. Anyone sign up for anything? Anyone online?
So far.
No, okay, seeing none. Appointments. And that is, that's three. Yeah, if you come to the,
Yeah, so my name is Aiva Williams. I work for the San Luis Valley Local Foods Coalition, so kind of that neck of the woods. I'm also contracted through the Colorado Department of Agriculture, so that's the main reason that I'm here today, is there's a really awesome opportunity for small family farms and small food retail businesses through the Colorado Department of Agriculture. There's an equipment tax credit that could reimburse these types of businesses for up to 75% of their equipment costs when their businesses are assisting low-income, low-access areas. So I believe a majority of Huerfano County is low-income, low-access. So that would be a really helpful thing. So I am the person who's going to be doing that kind of outreach out here, but I am not the most familiar with Huerfano County as I am with San Luis Valley, which is where I'm from. So what I really would like the commissioners' help with is just being aware, for one, of this opportunity that is available to people. And then also, if you guys could assist me in the types of businesses that are here that you think may qualify. I'm not super familiar with the food businesses that are here, or if there's any family farmers that you guys kind of talk to on a regular basis. We would love to get them funding for this. So the types of equipment that are eligible for this, in terms of, for example, small food retail businesses, is storage, display shelving, point of sale systems, all that kind of stuff would be covered. Small family farms, it can cover things like delivery vehicles, operations to help farming. So anything that helps with irrigation or stuff that allows, those farmers to produce food that is able to be sold to low income, low access areas would be considered eligible for that. There's $10 million per year, and this project is going to be running until 2030. So basically, the equipment that is bought in 2025 has to be applied for in 2025. So if they bought something, in 2025, they cannot apply in 2026 for that equipment. So it has to be purchased within that calendar year. It's then submitted, and then if you receive the tax credit, that is submitted with your income taxes at the end of the year. So you can receive that as a credit to either pay off your debt and get the excess. There's just kind of like that balance that can help even out a little bit. So there's just a lot of really cool opportunity with this project, and I would love to help Huerfano County be able to receive some of this funding. Are there any questions?
Yeah, I think there's a great thing.
Yeah.
I'm aware of the program.
Oh, awesome.
But so I know of a couple farmers up in the Gardner area,
Okay.
farmers market type thing.
Great.
Want me to just direct them towards you if they.
Yeah,
need
please.
Stuff like that. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. And I have these handouts which have my contact information. If there's anybody who can give me all of your emails, I would love to just send you guys this stuff too. So that way you can send it out to whoever may need to hear this. Yeah, so I think it's a really awesome opportunity, and I would be the person offering technical assistance. So if anybody needs help, just direct them to me.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hannah.
Appreciate that.
Thank you, Anna.
Great, thank you so much. We don't have cards yet. We're working on it, but we don't have them yet. Would you guys like a handout?
Yes, please.
Thank you so
Absolutely.
much for your time, by the way.
Yes, because we do have a lot of businesses in Huerfano County that they, especially during farmer market season,
Right.
you know, they're out and they're growing stuff and they're selling it here, and also our local local roots
Oh, awesome.
food market. It's on West 7th Street. If you were driving in, you probably saw it. It's
Yeah.
right there.
Well, farmers markets are eligible as well, so that is something that's nice. We haven't had a lot of farmers market supply, but they clip if they want. Yeah, and there's just obviously a couple of eligibility things. Retail businesses have to be less than 10,000 square feet. Farmers have to make less than 350,000 a year. But both of those things are pretty common in, this county and San Luis Valley as well. So I think that's all I have for you today. So thank you so much for your
Thank you.
time. Really appreciate that.
We appreciate you coming.
Yes.
Does, well, I would just get, greenhouses, are you doing things with like a greenhouse that's doing a lot of that? as
Yeah,
well?
so greenhouses could be
Not just-
covered as long as they were growing, I think at least 50% of what they grow in the greenhouse is being sold or distributed to low-income, low-access areas. But yes, greenhouses would be covered for that.
So, our economic development group has a, business incubator
Okay,
we'll focus on small retail. Are nonprofits eligible? They're trying to start like a community kitchen.
nonprofits, no, unfortunately, they're not eligible. But if there are small food retail businesses that are for-profit within that group that you have, that would potentially be eligible. They have to sell 3 staple foods. So the federally defined staple foods are grains, vegetables or fruit, dairy products. There's one more that I'm missing, but just something along those lines. So if they sold some kind of produce, any kind of dairy, any kind of grain or meat, that's the other category, then that would make them eligible as long as they had 3 different ones. So the other thing we want to do as well, besides getting the businesses that already have bought equipment, is we want to help businesses that maybe are lacking 1 or 2 of those staple foods be able to purchase those additional 3 that would make them eligible. So we want to help people who are close to being eligible but not quite there yet also be able to get up and running, just because this is kind of an incentive program. In order to apply, you do have to have already purchased the equipment, but you can apply for an eligibility form beforehand. So that way, if you're a little concerned something may or may not be covered, you're able to submit that eligibility form and see if that would potentially be covered.
Nice.
Awesome.
That's great.
Yeah. Do you guys have any more questions?
That's it.
I think
Yeah,
that's
you
it.
covered
Awesome. Well,
very
thank you so much for your time. I'm going to be going out and kind of just distributing all this stuff all over the place today. So I really appreciate your time, and I'll be emailing you additional information on this for sure.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Cool.
Thank
Thank you
for
very
coming
much.
in.
Appreciate it.
Cool.
Sorry, I was reading them. Okay, permits, licenses, public hearings,
Nothing this week?
none. Action items.
All right. With respect to that, I have up for you a notice to proceed for the Spanish Beach Airfield Lighting Signs Improvements Project. As you might remember, we signed a contract with Double E Incorporated, doing business as Electrical Excellence Enterprises to construct some improvements at the airport, improve our signage and make some upgrades there. So this is a notice of receipt for them to begin to mobilize and start work.
Okay.
The funding is essentially in place. I do need to submit one more amendment to the Seattle Aeronautics for one grant. But other than that, we are cleared as far as money-wise to proceed as well.
I will make a motion to approve this notice to proceed for Double E Incorporated, EBA Electrical Excellence Enterprises to proceed with airfield lighting and signage improvements.
Second.
First and second, any other questions or discussion? Call for a vote.
Commissioner Chamberlain,
Yes.
Commissioner Wardell,
Yes.
Chairman Spillier.
Yes.
Motion passes. All right, Commissioner, next I have for you an April 2025 prepaid vendor run. This is a vendor run in the amount of $3,700, and it is for the insurance for the airport as well.
Make a motion to accept the vendor run in the amount of $3,700 for the insurance for the airport.
Second.
First and second, any other discussion? Call for the vote.
Commissioner Wardell,
Yes.
Commissioner Chamberlain,
Yes.
Chairman Spillier.
Yes.
Motion passes. All right, Commissioner, next I have purchase order number 2025-057 for Granger. This is in the amount of $3,890.11. This is for 4 submersible pump motors for the Garden Public Improvement District. These are for the aerators. There's been one of the aerators or 2 that have had some issues recently. I think Chris had someone come out and look at them with them. And one of the things they found was that the motors were too small. And that's part of what's causing those to fail so often. They should not, they replaced one, I think a year or 2 ago. It shouldn't be failing that often. So the recommendation was bigger pumps. I told Chris to go ahead and put in for all 4 pumps to be replaced. So we can get them all up and running and hopefully not have to worry about this for a little while. So with your permission and your approval, we'll go ahead and get these ordered and get them installed.
I will make a motion to approve purchase order 2025-057 in the amount of $3,890.11.
Second.
First and second, any other discussion? Call for the vote.
Commissioner Chamberlain,
Yes.
Commissioner Wardell,
Yes.
Chairman Spillier.
Yes.
Motion passes. All right, Commissioners, next I have for you a hunting lease agreement from Colorado Mountain and Plains Outfitters. Commissioners, as you might remember, we a few years ago put out an RFP for a operator, a leasee to operate the Door Ranch, the Door Ranch on the river, however you want to call it. Jarrett Coulter won that bid, and as part of both the RFP and of the contract, he gets to select, if he wants to do hunting on the property, he gets to select someone that he can do it himself or select someone that comes out and does it for him. He selected Colorado Mountains and Plains Outfitters. That's why this is before you. I did confirm that he wants to proceed with Colorado Mountain and Plains like last week. I will say, if you look on page 28 of your packet, we did receive on or about April 1st a hunting lease and letter agreement from Macho Bravo LLC. This is not something the county has solicited. We didn't solicit Colorado Mountains and Plains either, but I will point out that he is offering $5,000 versus the $3,000 for Colorado Mountains and Plains. So I say it to say, this came in, full disclosure, but I don't see this as something that we're procuring. I see it as something that Jared is, and we're just proving it.
So they're conflicting. It'd be a Jared to pick.
Yeah. And
No, we didn't say anything with Mountain Plains then, right?
no,
They were just making sure they got their insurance and all that up to speed.
so this is what's before you is the lease agreement with them.
No, okay.
Yes, and it appears they did get their insurance and
Yeah, everything I saw, they got it right.
and everything. So,
Oh, good.
and I did read it over and all the old agreements going back to 2024 when it initially started. And it is written into the contract for the lessee that he can do a hunting lease should he choose to. And from what Carla said, he has chosen to go with Mountain Plains. So, taking all of that into consideration, I will make a motion to accept the Colorado Mountain and Plains Outfitters hunting lease agreement put forth by Jared Coulter, and also saying that it is not a county solicited hunting lease. It is something that the lessee was able to do as per his contract leasing the land.
I will second the motion.
First and second, any other discussion? Call for the vote.
Commissioner Woodall,
Yes.
Commissioner Chambers,
Yes.
Chairman Williams,
Yes.
motion passed. And that is the end of action items.
Okay, correspondence.
All right, first up in correspondence, I have your local water monthly volume report. Then I have your GPID building register. And last, your GPID system totals report. That's in correspondence.
Staff reports.
All right, commissioners, my staff report, a couple of open positions closing next couple weeks. The health services case / front office clerk in DHS closing on this Friday. And then next Friday, we have a community officer / dispatch position and a community supervisor position that are closing. Nothing particularly interesting, I think, in last week's meetings, my activity over last week for you guys. The GPID regulations, I expect to have a final draft from that in the next couple of weeks. So we'll bring those before you guys and have staff look at them as well to make sure that those meet our needs and are good. And we'll do a public comment phase for that as well. Seek some input from people in Gardner.
Okay.
The sewer replacement project is proceeding. We're working with EPA, trying to get all the things that they need organized, and we're staying on top of them. And hopefully we submit everything we submit for the CDBG grant for Share Organics, but hopefully in the next couple of weeks we'll have a agreement from GMS to actually lock them in for the work, and then we'll also have a stakeholder meeting, all the parties involved, the city, us, Share Organics, to discuss that project and set some expectations about timeline. So yes, that's the Fiesta Park planning project. There will be another meeting. I think Connor scheduled it for the 14th in the afternoon. I will send that to you guys, and I'll make sure we post that on the county's website too, so that well, I need to make sure it's a public meeting first, but it might be something that's a workshop for you guys and for certain invited parties. So I'll get back to you on that.
Okay.
And then that's all I have for my report. From the attorney, you have in there a memo about a lawsuit that the attorney would like to know if you'd be interested in joining the amicus brief. If I just so right now, this is just FYI. We'll bring it, something that you guys want to do. We can discuss with the attorney and bring it back for formal action on another meeting.
Okay.
And that's the end of staff reports.
Okay. See, there's something I was gonna ask on it. Your report, but I can't remember what it was.
Rio Cachera's head. I know that wasn't it, but yeah, Rio Cachera's head. So what was the results of their survey?
All right, so we had survey to do a survey that included the utilities. They couldn't find the water and sewer lines, but we think we know where those are. And for the sewer, we might finally invest in a camera that Chris has been wanting for several years, and Charles wanted before that for GPID to go in
And look to see if there's any
See what it looks
blockages,
like.
and see what's
roots
there.
growing through or anything like that.
There's also a bit of
Funny bodies.
uncertainty about what type of wastewater treatment system is there.
That's the scary story.
Yes, you know, we've heard everything from there's an evaporative system to there should be some sort of septic. That's massive. No idea. That's something that we need to figure out still. So that's another reason why the camera would be interested. They identified 3 places for additional development. Where the condos are now, there is probably a nice little flat area sort of on the other side of the hill. And then the hill that has the water tank.
Yeah.
And then they're recommending that perhaps the tennis courts, that area, which is also a nice and flat area for development as well. It's just maybe a couple of circles on the survey at this point. So there's still a little more work to be done. David, the lead on the project, has been in jury duty in California for the last
Oh,
weeks.
yay.
So he things have been a little bit slower, but they're still working on it, still making progress there. So that's what I have for you at the moment.
Anything on the building itself?
No, we did have a discussion about, you know, what should additional development look like and what kind of density would we be willing to accept? Which I was like, what can you fit there? I don't really know. But we were talking about sort of what we think we need. And we know we need housing for, you know, the 3-bedroom, 2-bath standard family unit sort of house. But in my experience, we also need studios, 1-bedrooms, 2-bedrooms as well, which we haven't really been addressing through new build construction or anything like that. So the thought there is that perhaps the main building could be more small units, while the newer development might be larger units, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom. But same thing, we're still very much in the tossing at the wall and see if it sticks phase in that. As I said, that's going to come out of that phase really quickly once they can focus on it fully. And now that they have the survey, we can get a good idea of what's out there for wastewater, because that's the biggest.
That's gonna be huge. I mean, that'll make a difference on everything.
Right. We have records from the city about the size tap that's out there and things like that, but wastewater is a question mark.
So, yeah, that'll be fun to find out. I have a sneaking suspicion it might be. I'll just shut up.
The annoying thing is that like,
Huh?
the place that should have the records does not have the records. So it's, you know, those type deals.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, okay.
so yeah,
And no timeline on the bridge construction? If that's
that's ongoing now.
just still, yeah.
I don't have a completion or anything like that, but the last update I received, they were working on getting all the water out still. They've already diverted the river around the construction site.
Oh, okay.
So they were just trying to get it to a point where it was dry. I think the one big thing that came up is that they hit bedrock a whole lot quicker than they thought they were going to.
That's a good sign.
It might require some changes to the design.
Oh, well, yeah.
So, but other than that, I think we're okay. We intentionally designed it to be a little bit larger. The quote unquote fish passage option, which we know there's not really fish in the river at that point, but
Tadpole.
Just mudsuckers.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
they're small.
we have some room in the design to shrink the culvert. So we don't, impart, I don't think we're gonna try to dig on the bedrock or anything like that. We're just gonna set on top of it.
Yeah.
But, I haven't gotten the feedback back from KOJ yet. That confirms that, but that's my understanding, what I sort of leaned in towards.
All right, we're good. Cool. All right. And no need for executive sessions. Shall we call for adjournment?
Make the motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
First and second, anybody that would not want that is nuts, so call for the vote.
Commissioner Chamberlain,
Yes.
Commissioner Lamar,
Yes.
Chairman Tony,
Yes.
motion passes.
Do you have to put that in the record?
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
We're waiting for the gavel strike.
Oh,
Meeting
10:25.